Hi everyone, welcome to Murali End. My name's Mark Machado. I'm joining you from New York City. I'm joined by my cousin Dominic Machado. Thanks for joining us today. We've got a lot to discuss. The Zimbabwe series begins at the end of this week, and then we go straight into the Asia Cup. There's also Women's World Cup that starts in a few weeks' time in Sri Lanka as well. One of the surprise co-hosts of the tournament. And then it's all roads to the men lead to the World Cup, which we're co-hosting as well in a few months' time. In what is it, March? I think it begins. I haven't seen the dates.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's that we none of us know how to buy tickets for any of these games. The Asia Cup's in the UAE, which means we'll obviously be playing Bangladesh. Zimbabwe. Look, if you're going to Zimbabwe, if you're going to be a Sri Lanka fan, we want to talk to you on this show. Get in touch with us.
Yeah.
Drop a message across. We're across social media. Follow us on Facebook, on LinkedIn. You can follow us on LinkedIn. That's where we're at. Twitter. We are on TikTok. None of us check it, and Instagram as well. This show's actually live on Instagram, Dom. You can watch it on Instagram.
On Instagram. So for all those Gen Zers who watch things on Instagram and not on YouTube or Facebook, we're taking care of you.
Yeah, it's like, the cricket team's on the road to the World Cup. I like to think Murali End's on the road to Netflix or any other streaming platform, right? That's where we need to be. We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, but where we really want to be is on Netflix or Apple TV or Amazon Prime, somewhere like that.
Exactly.
Guys, the two things to remind you about. A few things to remind you about. Firstly, this is a podcast as well, so a couple of hours, a few hours after the end of the show, this will appear in your podcast app, or at least it should do. Sometimes I forget. Then also we have a WhatsApp group which we put all our updates in, not just about the show, but also things that are going on around Sri Lankan cricket as well. Whenever they send us a press release, we try and stick it into that as well. We all live in different time zones, so sometimes the news can be a little bit later than you might get in other places. Don't worry, you can't see people's numbers, but please do join the WhatsApp group. I'll put a link for that into the comments section at some point. We also have a Substack as well. We all intend to write on it. I also want to let you know, if you guys want to write on the Substack, if you've got something to say about Sri Lankan cricket, and it can't just be a hit piece on your least favorite player, it's got to be something constructive.
It can be a love piece, though.
It could be a love piece.
Love letter.
Yeah. Love letters are definitely allowed. Then get in touch with us, and if you've got something to write about, we'll help you publish it on our Substack. There's a growing band of subscribers to it, and also increasingly not just kind of Sri Lankan cricket lovers. I'm amazed how many cricket journalists from around the world
follow us. Yeah,
follow us and have subscribed to it. It's brilliant. But so we're going to talk about the Zimbabwe series, and then we're going to open it up. Agent Smash has finally made it on time. Well done, man.
We've got a lot
to talk about, and it's a big day for us because I know Agent Smash, like me, supports the greatest football team of all time, Liverpool Football Club. We've got a big game as well in a few hours' time. So yeah, it's a big day for us. In London, they're giving people the day off. It's a bank holiday in the UK to prepare for the Zimbabwe series at the end of the week, and just to watch.
That's how they should do it. That's how everyone should do it.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So we're going to talk about the Newcastle series, not Newcastle series. We're going to talk about the Zimbabwe series, and then we'll get into a bit of interactive discussion as well, where you guys come on and have a chat with us. I love that bit. That's one of my favorite bits. I will leave the link into the backstage bit. I'll post that up now. So come in backstage and kind of prepare. If you want to come on air and talk to us, you don't have to. Kind of prepare yourself for that by being backstage with us. I say backstage, it's still all virtual. It's not like you're sitting next to me or anything. You magically sit next to me. I'd love that. But you're only allowed in to my house if you've got mutton rolls. That's the rule. Which I know is kind of reverse for the way other Sri Lankans are, where when they come in, they give you mutton rolls. But I want mutton rolls.
Yeah.
I want mutton rolls on arrival. Anyway, Dom, should we get into the squad?
Let's talk about the squad. Let's do it.
I can bring it up. I'll go through it, and then you can tell me your thoughts. Obviously, the captain is Charth Asalanka, Patam Nisanka, Nishan Madushka, Kusal Mendes, Sadira Samvikrama, Nwindu Fernando, Kamindu Mendes, Janeth Lianage, Pavan Rotnaika, Dudith Walalage, Milan Rotnaika, Mahesh Deekshana, Jeffrey Van der Say, Asita Fernando, Dishmanta Chamira, Dilshan Madhushankar. I should also point out, as far as I'm aware, or as advertised, this is just the ODI squad. I am yet to see a T20 squad, which does start about a week after the three T20s are over. Three ODIs are over. I don't know if that means
It's
that they're
only
going to
two ODIs, so it's actually
yeah.
It's not that. I think it starts September 3rd, so I think they play the 3rd, the 6th, and the 7th.
So yeah, there's a lot to unpack with this squad though, but I'm just surprised that they haven't thought for the ease of travel just to bring the T20 players out, essentially put them in this squad, because we know they'll be flying out with them, because it's kind of reasonably difficult to get from Colombo to Harare.
So this was interesting. I was looking at the shots. There were pictures of the squad leaving, and I was thinking the same thing, but I didn't see the people you'd expect to only be in the T20 squad. So the likes of Nuwan Tushara, who almost certainly will make the trip. No sign of Wani. So it seems like they're sending the ODI squad, and then they're going to make that last-minute call about the T20 squad. So I don't know. What stands out to me here is we've talked about the need for power hitting. We've talked about that 4, 6, and 7 slot. And looking at this list, I don't see too many guys who are made for those slots. Basically, if you look at Patham, Madushka, Kusal, Sadira, Nuanindu, Kamindu, Janath, and Pawan, I view all of those guys as top 4 batters. So to me, who's going to bat 6? Who's going to bat 7? The other big exclusion here is Chamaka Karunaratne, because he's coming off the back of winning player of the series for the T20 tournament that SLC organized, and winning the MVP of the major league or the major clubs T20 tournament. And I think, to be frank, ODIs is a better fit for him than T20s, because he can definitely pitch in overs in an ODI setting. He can bat at 6 or 7 in an ODI setting because he has time to get going. Yet Milan Ratnaika is getting the call ahead of him. And so it's, to me, those are the things that are surprising. You don't see anything down the order. They're kind of going with the same strategy they've been going with. I'm curious what Sadira's role is going to be. It looks like Nishan Madushka is going to get a chance to continue to open with Patham. No sort of apart from Nuanindu and Pawan getting in the side, it'll be interesting to see where they bat in the side and if they make it into the 11 as well.
Yeah, it was interesting. So if you haven't come across it already, we had Russell Arnold on the show back end of last week, and power hitting and middle order runs was something that came up. It was interesting to talk to him about it because, as Dom pointed out early on, I'm sure as many as you know, Russell came into the team as an opener, but basically found a home in the middle order for us, right? For years and years and years, scored loads of runs for us. And he talked about how what he would like to see was some of these players who are maybe in domestic or more naturally openers, or people who bat at the top of the order, kind of grab the opportunity lower down the order. I think, Dom, actually, in the kind of medium term, while Sri Lanka has, for various different reasons, we've got left behind in terms of technique that we need to develop, or players need to develop to score runs at the pace that is required in T20 cricket in particular, but even increasingly in ODI cricket when we get to the major tournaments. I think that definitely is going to be something that we need to try and nurture. And I think the way you've got to do it, which I know was slightly different to the way Russell saw it, and maybe he could be right and I could be totally wrong, because what do I know, right? I'm just a bloke who makes a podcast in the spare room, right? The way Russell saw it was that players should be kind of given a short rope and being like, right, you've got 1, 2, maybe 3 matches, go and make this position your own. Well, I think I'm still of the opinion that we're going to decide who we want in our ODI squad, who's going to play what roles, figure it out, and then go, look, we're working towards this ODI World Cup in 2027.
Yeah.
I see you as being our 6 or 7 or who batting at number 4, wherever it is, and then kind of bat the players. I think across the 3 formats at the moment, our ODIs is currently our best format. I think the reason for that is because there's been kind of stability in the squad selection since the end of the last World Cup. I also think, though, that there is a perception in Sri Lankan cricket where the players who are kind of regularly scoring 30s and 40s are much more undervalued than the guys who actually probably have an average about the same, but for every time they get out in the 10s, 15s, they're also making like a big score over, maybe not even getting centuries. We're not a team that's picking a lot of centuries up at the moment, but getting 70s, 80s scores. And actually, we undervalue the Sidiras and the Liana Gays of this world because they go about consistently doing a job, opposed to being kind of getting big flashy scores.
Well, I think, Mark, I agree with your point that you need to give guys a run in the side. Look at the pillars of our ODI batting: Kusal, Potham, and Charith. And the reason why they've blossomed is not because they were good at the start. All of them have gone through bumps and bruises. We all remember Charith's first series where he looked like he couldn't bat at the international level, right, against England. And Potham, everyone's talking about his strike rate. He's never going to become a good white ball player. Kusal, too inconsistent, but they've backed those guys. And that's where we've seen the returns, is the guys that they've consistently backed, especially as batters. So I 100% agree that you need to give a guy a role and say, you go do it. Case in point is someone like Chamindu Wickramasinghe, 21 years old, extraordinarily talented. Why don't we just put him in that 6th spot? We're not getting much from that 6th spot anyway. It's not as if the replacement player for him is doing great things. The value we get of allowing him to develop that skill set at the international level is going to be paid back immensely. So from my point of view, I say you got to identify those players. And I think one of those players could be Chamindu. You might say, Chamindu, you are our 4 for the future. We believe in you. You might be averaging 25 right now, just like Potham was. But we trust, just like you figured out Test cricket, that you're going to figure out ODI cricket, you're going to figure out T20 cricket, and come good in the future. And that's where I think there's a little bit of a mismatch in terms of what SLC wants and what's best for SLC. SLC wants to win games right now because it's good for the bottom line. It's good for fan interests. But if you really want to develop a team that's going to do big things in the future, you got to back that talent. Look what Australia is doing with the likes of Cam Green. I wouldn't have said Cam Green is ready to play number 3 in ODIs or tests or T20s. Now he's out there making big scores because they've backed him and said, okay, we see this guy is talented. Couple of comments that I want to bring up here. Mark, I'll let you read this one because the LPL is your baby here.
Ramana Sivasubarajan, sorry if I mispronounced your name, has said LPL is a joke now. No real superstars. Chamindu and Veerskant faded. It's still no number 6, 7 power hitter. I'll address each point individually. LPL is a joke now. Look, so some T20 tournaments float, right? Some T20 tournaments tell you they're going to happen and they're not going to happen, that they happen. I think to run a commercial enterprise like the LPL on some level is quite tough. I think they've made loads of mistakes. And I think it's fair enough to call it a joke. I totally understand that. But I don't, I think it's as much a joke as, the last few days it's been a tumultuous time in American cricket around the Major League Cricket, right? And we all thought that was a really serious, stable competition, mainly because it was IPL owners involved and people from Silicon Valley. There's a team in there.
Well, there's the problem there, putting too much trust in. Sorry, my political opinions are coming out. Putting too much trust in Silicon Valley.
Yeah. But I mean, there's a team in that league called San Francisco Unicorns because it's owned by like 5 CEOs of unicorns, right? Yeah. So you kind of think, right, if that's a league that is unstable, then and you look at the fact that you have a team that's owned by 5 unicorns in Major League Cricket, and that league is falling apart. Then you compare that to LPL, where there was a team at one point that was owned effectively by a bloke who had a little bit of Bitcoin, right? And you're just like, the levels here and the fact that they've kept LPL going, I think on some level is quite good. If you look around the world, there's only about 3 or 4 leagues which I would say are stable. So yeah, I think you can call it a joke. No real superstars. I'm not sure. Like, I still think they're a little bit confused about what LPL is meant to be and what it's meant to do. And this goes back to the final point. No power hitters as well. You're not going to suddenly. Lanka players aren't suddenly going to become power hitters overnight because they're playing in a franchise league. That's a system now. 15 years ago when T20 cricket was just beginning, people didn't know what they were doing. People were figuring it out. Now we've had, it's been around a while now. So now they are getting kids developed from a young age. Teenagers are learning how to power hit from a young age. If Sri Lanka wants to become a force of T20 cricket again, they need to think longer term. It's too myopic. They need to think T20 cricket in school. Like, let's develop power hitters at school. It's a totally different mindset to play T20 cricket as it is to play longer forms of the game, because the value that is placed on the wicket is so much lower. The value on every ball is so much higher. And you need to be equipping players to be able to try and hit as many balls as they can to the boundary. It doesn't matter that they've got a great looking cover drive, and we all love it, but we need, Josh Butler is one of the most valuable players in T20 cricket, but doesn't play Test cricket for a reason, because he doesn't have the skill set for it. We need to be. I still think there's too much of a thought in Sri Lanka where our best players should be able to play every format. I think that T20 cricket's drifted too far away from the other 2 formats now.
And look at India too, Mark. I think, like, if you think about, right, you might say, okay, we don't have guys like Cam Green who are big and strong. Sort of physically, the profile of Indians is very similar to Sri Lankans, but they are developing players who are sort of developing their own games around T20 cricket. Someone like an Abhishek Sharma, for example, is a really good example, where they think about, okay, what value can I add to this side? How can I play? I want to take on the VS Kant point, because I think VS Kant has actually been quite good in this recently concluded T20 series. He was fantastic. And he can bat a little bit too. And I think he should be the number 2 leg spinner after Wanindu. I think he's super talented. He's 23 years old. He's another one of those guys that should be invested in. I know Vandersay is a very good player, but if you're thinking long term, the reward you're going to get from grooming VS Kant, especially knowing that Wanindu is an injury concern. Wanindu will always be an injury concern for his whole career, right? He has hamstrings. He's an incredible player, but grooming someone like VS Kant, who teams in the IPL have seen talent in, right, who has shown himself on the domestic level to be skilled, why not train him up? Why not give him a chance? It really is frustrating, because the more game time he gets, the better he will be. And we can't just bring these guys in and say, okay, 1 series. Chamindu played 1 series. He didn't really get much time even to develop. Why not give him some time? And I want to kind of quote Hello here. These are players who need time. You learn and win, back them. And we're not just...
Should I just read Hello's comments? Yeah. He wrote, Patam and Kusal Mendes are a great example. Some players are not meant to start strong at the early part of their career. That's the beauty of cricket. You learn and win. Just selectors need to back them. I think he said K Mendes. I actually think he means Kamindu, not Kusal. Sorry.
I think both work, right?
Either, yeah. And, Kusal did start incredibly strong, didn't he? Should we get that comment up from Agent Smash as well? So, he's written, I mean, Sharnika still exists. We know he has the power. And compared to most of the players, I'd rather have him in the lower order, even in ODIs. So this is my worry about the ODI squad, right, Dom? Is I think what's going to happen is they're sticking with the guys they've got for a little while. I think mainly because there isn't that much pressure around ODI results, and also our results have been quite good. I think our results in ODI cricket have been good for 2 reasons.
And we're 4th, right? We're 4th now. Yeah.
We're fourth in the rankings. I think there's two reasons for that, though. We play a lot of ODI cricket at home. And secondly, I think we are playing it at a time when not many other teams around the world are focusing on it. They're focused on the World Cup, on the T20 World Cup, which they will be till the point till that World Cup passes, and then the next 9 months or the next year into the next World Cup, which is an ODI World Cup, will be all about ODI cricket for everyone else in the world. So I think I'm a little bit nervous that we are out of sync and actually preparing for an ODI World Cup 3 and a bit years out from which is when we started doing that, is a bit wild. Is what some people would say. Maybe SLC have got it right on this, but my larger kind of worry is that actually this time next year we'll be playing ODI series against people. I think we're going to England September next year. We know, I can tell you now, that's going to be a tough series for two reasons. Firstly, England actually have decent ODI players at the moment. They have decent white ball players at the moment. And secondly, playing cricket at the beginning and end of the English summer is really tough. It's really tough for South Asian players, right? Because the conditions are so foreign. Get the jumpers out, right, lads? So I'm worried we're going to have a difficult series then, and then there's going to be a reaction, because in Sri Lankan cricket there's always a reaction because it's myopic, and that's when they'll tear it all up, and suddenly it'll be right. Who's got Angelo's number? Akila Dhananjaya back in.
Like Jeevan Mendes come back from the beach. It's interesting, Mark. I think you're 100% right about this. That this is the reason why you need to be giving guys like Chamindu a chance, right? This is a throwaway series, and we don't get much from the sixth position anyway. Just give him a go against Zimbabwe. There's no harm. We're fourth in the rankings. We're already guaranteed a spot for the next World Cup. We're in safe hands. This is the time to trial those players and say, and maybe they are doing it a little bit with Nuanindu and Pawan Ratnayaka. Also, regarding Shanaka, I think we should be kind of thinking about him in the T20 team. What role is he going to play in the T20 team? So I want to see him work on that part of his game. We've heard through the grapevine, Mark, that apparently there is some interest or some talk about potentially batting him at 4, which could be a very interesting decision. He's done it a couple of times in his career. My big worry would be he's not the best against leg spin, and coming in at number 4 is a surefire way to kind of have to deal with leg spin.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I'd like to see it be given a shot, because I always feel that part of what's happening with our batting is that we start well, then we slow down, but then we slow down for like way too long. And then we try and give ourselves way too much to catch up on at the end. And I understand that just because the batters think they can do it doesn't mean that that's the ideal situation to get into, right? It means that you're going to do it as a kind of almost kind of like a one-off, right?
Yeah, and this is to Shihan's point. We need to get this average thing out of our heads when it comes to T20s. We need to support batsmen with good strike rates, right? So I 100% agree with this, because there's only 120 balls. It doesn't matter if you score 30 at a strike rate of 120 or you score 20 at a strike rate of 150. Give me the second guy, because it's those short innings. It's the little cameos of 25 off 10, of 30 off of 15 that turn the momentum of the game so much. And I think this is the mentality that our players have to approach with. It's okay to get out. It's better to get out, in fact, for 2 from 3 than to struggle for 8 from 15 and then get out. At least get out playing your shots and being aggressive. And I think this is what our 3 best batters in the format do. Kusal, Patham, and Charith are aggressive and look to take their chances. They have a great game plan for how they're going to take their chances. And we need some other players to kind of get on that same thing, because right now we win when one of those 3 guys puts up a big score.
I think unlike other sports, in cricket, a loss is a loss, and it doesn't matter by how much you lose by, right? If you lose by 8 wickets or if you lose by 4 runs, it doesn't matter. I think that the attitude that is sneaking into Sri Lankan cricket is almost like we'd much rather lose with honor and dignity
Mm,
than lose by a large margin, and that is making our players overly cautious. So they're kind of thinking, oh, we'd much rather lose by 10 runs than lose big if it's stopping them effectively
yeah,
from swinging the bat. I mean, when you say it like that, it sounds like I'm asking them to play. I don't want them to play brainless cricket. I want them to play considered cricket, but I want them to be able to take risks.
right.
And I feel that the culture around the team and the venom that you sometimes see towards some of our players on social media, and I'll be honest, I get angry with them. It
Yeah,
annoys
we
me
all
as
do.
well, but that doesn't mean that I need to be kind of going for the jugular, as it were.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
look at the series against Bangladesh, Mark. The one game we won was when two players went hell for leather, Kusal and
yeah,
Potham, right? And that was enough to win the game for us. But basically, what Bangladesh was, they outbatted us basically from four downward. They just batted way better with more freedom, with more aggression than we did. Our guys are going out there and playing dot balls. And it's like, there has to be some sort of coaching point. And this is a point where I disagree with Russell here, is that there needs to be some coaching point about what's the role you're assigning to that player. Don't just go out and play your game. What is your job out there? One player might be anchor, but most players should not be assigned the role of anchor. They should be assigned the role of find the boundary, put other
score
bowlers under
runs.
pressure. Sorry. Yeah.
No, absolutely. Guys, just so you know, we're going to open up the studio to you guys in a moment, in a few minutes. If you want to jump in backstage and come on and have a chat with us about what your thoughts are about this squad, who should be in it, who shouldn't be in it, what do you want to see from the ODI series, what do you want to see from the T20 series? I'm nervous. One of my big worries is I'll be getting the bowling right. What's going on
Yes.
with it? I saw where was it? Another comment from Hello who said, according to a prestigious local newspaper, Ishan might lose his spot on the T20 bench as well. I've got two simultaneous thoughts about this. I'm okay with him losing the spot on the bench because, to a degree, if you're bringing him and if the coaches think he's the person who could get the wickets and win us games at some point and develop into that player, then I think he should be playing cricket. That's the only way he's going to get better at this level. He's not going to get better. I know to a degree he will learn stuff being around players, but I again think that we're too cautious with our selections. We've got exciting players. We've got players we know that can become a total handful for batters, if not today, then tomorrow or next week.
Yeah.
Yet we're not giving those players a chance.
When you have Malinga and Patarana warming the bench, right?
Yeah,
Two of the most in-demand seamers in the world, because it's about wicket taking,
yeah,
right? That's the thing, is that these guys are wicket takers. Yeah, they might be expensive, and this comes back to the thing you're talking about, losing with dignity, right? I don't care if a squad goes for if India scores 300 against us, if the next match Malinga and Patarana come back and blow them away. That's just how the game is played. You got to be willing to roll with the punches, and if you're gonna beat the big dogs, you got to take risks. You're not gonna beat India by playing Benura Fernando and Vandersay. I'm sorry, that's just not gonna. And I love those players. They're good, capable players, but they are not going to bring you victory against the best teams in the world.
yeah. It's amazing. We've got a whole farm of bowlers who get paid the big money to do it in the IPL, and a lot of those players aren't at this moment in stage not even getting anywhere near the squad, let alone into the 11. So I'm just really not sure what's going on, guys. If you want to come on backstage and have a chat with us, we'd love you to come on. We love seeing your faces and hearing your voices. There's no, this is a total safe space. This is a fully Sri Lankan woke safe space to say whatever you want about Sri Lankan cricket. I'm a little bit with Agent Smash as well. I will not stand for Jeffrey or Ragama Rambo slander.
I love them, but they're just not. They shouldn't be they shouldn't be your 1 and 2 bowlers. That's all. I love them. I love Jeffrey and I love Raga Marambo. Like, don't get me wrong, but Patirana and Malinga are game changers. Jeffrey and Raga Marambo are good bowlers. That's all I'm saying.
Jeffrey's had his moments, man.
Yes, absolutely.
And the Ragama Rambo's had his moments as well. I still need to release the Jeffrey tapes.
I know. They're never going to be released at
They are. I will get time to do it.
There's something we have to censor, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's something that needs to come out of it because it caused me much offense. Oh, jeez. So yeah, Dom, should we have a little chat about the women's team because we're going to World Cup in a few weeks? The ICC put some lovely videos out of Harshita and Charmari last week talking about how excited they are, they're looking forward to it. However, we haven't seen this team play in months.
I really what's going on? Do you understand this? Like, you have a World Cup coming up, and your squad has won the Asia Cup in the last year, has beaten England, South Africa, New Zealand, basically everybody but Australia in the last 18 months. This is a squad you need to be behind all the time. You need to be getting them serious. You're telling me that none of those teams want to come early to Sri Lanka and see what those pitches are like and investigate it before they play matches there? Come on. That means, to me, that means you're not trying hard enough to get these women the opportunities they need to shine on the biggest stage. We remember how many people showed up to that Asia Cup final. We remember how big the fans were. And if you don't believe that in a home World Cup, fans can elevate the quality of this team, like, because these women don't play in front of huge crowds all the time. When they see them, they get so motivated, so excited, so ready to go. Come on, SLC, you got to do a better job.
I kind of feel that kind of moment's already gone, right? They should be having fixtures now, and it's like if they haven't announced it, well, I know it's Sri Lanka cricket, right? Anything can happen, like absolutely anything can happen. But if they haven't announced that anyone's coming, I feel like we've let them down. Mm-hmm. The administrators have let these girls down yet again. It's really disappointing, I think. We've got so many great young players. Last summer, when they won the Asia Cup, was such a fantastic moment. It made us all feel really good. I mean, Agent Smash has written this comment, arguably the better Sri Lankan cricket team too. I think I probably agree with that. I'm on board with it. And I just feel we've let it go again, guys. I'm really sad about it. I'm hoping, Dom, I should be in Colombo for, I think the Sri Lanka Australia. I think it's Sri Lanka Australia. Obviously, my wife's Australian.
Oh my gosh!
So this is a big moment for us. If depending on the way the results go,
for the first win against Australia by the women's cricket team.
Yeah, depending on the way that fixture goes, we might need to have get two bedrooms for the night. Who knows? Who knows what could happen? Guys, if you want to come on backstage, please do come and have a chat with us. We'll let you know what our plans are for the next little while because Sri Lanka are playing on Friday. They're playing on Sunday. We're going to do live reaction shows very soon after the end of play. If you've been following my content for a little while, you will know that I'm absolutely horrendous at trying to work out the time anywhere. I think the sad thing from my perspective is Zimbabwe's actually in the same time zone as London, or at least I think an hour.
Yeah.
It's more or less in the same time zone as London. But
it'll be around the same time, midday Eastern Standard Time, afternoon in the UK, evening in Sri Lanka.
Yeah, 8:30, 9:30 in SL, we think. Again, that'll be a reaction show, what we call the interactive, so you guys can come in and have a chat with us. If you want, you might not want to say anything. It might just be the perfect performance, sixes off every ball that we have to play, wickets from the first 10 balls that we bowl. So then there'll be nothing to say. We'll be like, well, we perfected cricket. Maybe it's time for baseball or something. I don't know.
Should we? Yeah, we can even talk if folks want about the two big sides. India and Pakistan have released their Asia Cup squads. We, of course, have not released our squad for the upcoming Zimbabwe series, let alone the Asia Cup. It would be, and mind you, that because of the way world cricket works, neither India or Pakistan are in our group for the preliminary stage, so we don't have to worry about them till we get to the Super Four. But
Afghanistan have put their squad out as well.
oh, they did. I did
Yeah.
not see this. I would love to see that actually, Mark. If you wanna, if you have it on hand.
I do not have it on hand, but I'll find it and send it to you because I saw it on ESPN Cricket Info last week. I do think that there so I think in and around SLC they would tell you they do not release the squad early because they don't feel that they have to, and it doesn't give anyone an advantage. I kind of actually think that's kind of true. The only thing I will say is I think it's a kind of diminishing return because, I mean, me and you could probably pretty accurately predict who's going to be in that squad. We could probably predict the 11 as well.
Yeah.
And I do like, so this is the reason why, this is exactly the reason why I think SLC should release them earlier. It's this comment exactly. Dom, SLC is going to, this is from Hello, SLC is going to surprise us with the squad announcement. Later the better. Angie and DDS will be back.
Well, this is the thing, right? Because they're playing a T20 on September 7th against, I don't understand the organization of the Zimbabwe series, because my thought would be, why don't you have the T20s first, take home the players that are short starters for the Asia Cup, right? God forbid injury or anything else, and then play the ODIs. But they're playing, for some strange reason, the ODIs first, and then they're playing 3 T20s that end on September 7th. The tournament starts on the 9th. So presumably they're going to have a squad well ahead of the 9th. So what do these T20s even mean for squad composition?
So I think these are the last ODIs that we'll play up to the World Cup. Unless, oh no, hold on, that's not true because we're playing Pakistan. England. We're playing some there. So yeah, that's a lie. So on the basis that you're going from a T20 series against Zimbabwe straight into the Asia Cup, to me, in my mind, that actually makes sense.
But you can't make any selections based off of it, can you? Right? Because I'd imagine that
Dom, it's Sri Lanka cricket. Anything could happen. If they wanted to drop everyone and have a whole new squad for the Asia Cup, which actually
reconvene kind of the 2019 World Cup squad.
Yeah, but have a little reunion. Thiramani hopefully has been doing his fitness work because he might get the call up. You never know.
Melinda Siriwardena.
Yeah. So that's what could happen. I think though, the thing about it, the reason I brought this comment up in particular, Agent Smash written a kind of similar comment. It seems like a reactionary trend from SLC, hold your cards close to the chest type deal, but it just makes us look much more weaker. It's that I think the longer you leave it, it makes Sri Lanka cricket look slightly disorganized. Mm-hmm. It's not disorganized, right? They know who's going. More like of the 15 players that will go, they'll at this stage probably know 13 of them, if not 14, right? It also, just going back to the Angie and DDS comment, it just makes it open up for more kind of conjecture around it. Where I think actually, if you go early with the squads, you go, right, these are the boys that are going.
Yeah.
Then I think mentally it's much better for the players as well. And it kind of makes us look a bit prepared. And I don't like in this age of data, when there's so much data on every single player, Sri Lanka,
there's no surprise.
There's no surprises. I don't know what unless they're picking someone out from school cricket under 19
someone like Halumbage would be someone who would be a surprise because even
Halumbage, right? Even if you
can go on YouTube and watch those matches.
Yeah. Every major cricket team that we're going to play against will have data on domestic Sri Lankan cricket, right? They will know what to expect from him. They'll know what his strengths and weaknesses might be.
And especially these Asian teams that play us regularly, they know up and down what we do well, what our strengths and weaknesses are. I think the other thing that's interesting, I don't know. Bonica is a good question.
Yeah,
I think one
Shahan,
big
for the purposes of the tape,
yeah.
Shahan has just said, I don't get surprised the selectors include Barnica Rajapaksa to the Asia Cup after this Sim tour.
KJP's health is probably the big question here. How fit is KJP? Because if KJP is not ready to go, Bonica is a reasonable option to sub in for KJP at 3. I'm not saying that I would go for it. I would probably prefer giving someone like Columbage or Kamindu Mendes a shot there. But it's not a crazy proposal. It's not the worst thing either. I'm really curious to see what they do, how they play it. I think, as you said, Mark, there's the other thing I'd like to see is actually for them to use 15, because they've done a thing where they've stuck with the starting 11 for 3 or 4 games straight. And one of the advantages we've built is we have a stable of bowlers who do different things well. And we need to give those guys a chance. Someone like Dunith Walalage against a right-hander heavy team in the top order is hugely useful. He can come in the power play and bowl and take wickets. He's tremendously economical in that state. He can take he's a gun fielder. We got to use that bowling depth that we've built over the past 5 years to our advantage. What's the pitch playing like? Is it turning? Is it a flat wicket? Right? Is this a team that has a lot of power at the back end and we need to have someone like put the runner in to blast through the lower order? But I think we need like, that's the importance of having the 15.
Absolutely. Don, we if there was to come backstage and have a chat with us, that's absolutely fine. We should probably think about wrapping this up now, though,
Yes,
because I think
100%.
we have previewed the Zimbabwe series. We'll be back with all the reaction 10 or 15 minutes after the end of the first Zimbabwe ODI on Friday. Normally, we've just got to gather ourselves in front of a laptop and also gather our thoughts.
Cry if
Kind of,
necessary.
yeah, have a. I don't like to cry on air, so we need to have a little cry. I might need to have a little cry off air before we start, and then we'll be back with you. One final word I will have is I do think this Zimbabwe and guys, if you want to come on, jump on backstage now, feel free to. Dom, I do think that we shouldn't underestimate this Zimbabwe squad, though, right? They have some decent players, and they're a much better white ball team than they are test side. And we've seen them because they've got hammered recently in some test matches. But I don't think it will be a walk in the park with definitely the ODI matches and the T20 matches, because I think our ODI team is set but hasn't played much away from home. And I think the T20 team is maybe mentally slightly fragile. So I don't think it's fair for us to just assume we're going to turn up, go through the motions, and win all of this. I think we're going to have to put. We can win all 5 matches, but I think we're going to have to put real performances in, right?
Yep. Play good cricket.
Yeah. Guys, should we leave it there then? We'll be back on Friday. Thanks for joining us. Please do hit the subscribe, hit the follow, tell all your friends about us. It's the road to the World Cup. Murali End's going to be with you every step of the way. We are so excited. I'm really excited. And I think Dom is as well.
Yeah.
About Sri Lanka playing cricket again. It's really, it's a great time for us all. We will see you on Friday. Bye.